Say you want it feature pen. You write books, film, song, and even this so it end. The way you work, really, my favorite respect it, my friend.
See, now, this is something I've been meaning to talk about because I've been asked about this quite a bit. And it's, how do I set such high goals and go about achieving them? Which made me slightly uncomfortable because maybe it's one of those things where when you look at yourself, you just see yourself as normal, or not even normal, just an individual, if you like. That barking dog is probably going to make its way into the video, along with a lot of this wind. It's quite windy at the moment. And I guess if I had to break down how I go about setting high goals, I guess I've always just wanted to do something monumental and not for other people's approval. But yeah, it's never been about that from others. Like validation, that's the word. It's never been about validation from others. Just always wanted to do something big for myself. When I set big goals, it just means that I have to, there's no time to waste, and then there's no time to sit there and think, is this possible or not? You've kind of just got to get to work, because the longer you spend thinking about it, the less time it's actually being done. So I guess that's part of how I go about achieving, the big goals I set for myself. I'd never shot a feature film before the jam, and I was convinced I could do it, and that's exactly what I went out and did. Writing a book, I said I was going to write a book many years before I did, and I did. People can look at the content and say the way it's written doesn't make it like a traditional novel, and I will say that was intentional. I wanted to do something big for me, or something that had resonance to who I am and what I stand for, not what everyone else wants me to do. I could easily write a novel, and one day I will write a novel. The Thought Book 1 and 2 was my gift to the world. I wanted people to be able to believe in themselves more. I wanted people to be able to understand that they have the hidden depths to them, to be able to achieve the goals they set out for themselves. That was what I wanted to be the first thing I gave to anyone. Really, the question of how do I achieve all of these goals and set these high ambitions? I suppose what I'm supposed to do is smile, look back and say, oh, get the Thought Book 1 and 2 and I'll sign them for you. And to an extent, it's true. I did curate the thoughts, musings, quotes, and sayings in the Thought Book and the Thought Book 2 to try and help people achieve what they want to achieve. So yeah, I guess it wouldn't even be arrogant to answer that. I tried to answer the question, but that was the reason for putting the book together in the first place. It was a question I was constantly being asked. And I was like, well, if I break it down into something that helps you, reverse engineer the process for yourself, would you buy it? And for the most part, people would be willing to buy it, but I guess other people are just really skeptical. They don't want to believe you can do everything you say you're going to do or set your mind to doing, which is a crying shame, because that means they also don't believe that about themselves. So a lot of the time, anytime I've been kind of tricked into believing in someone or something that I shouldn't have, it's because that's the kind of person I am. I do try to take people at their word. If you tell me what you have is some brand new patented technology, and I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Not saying I'm incapable of doing my own research, but I want to be the person that can say yes to people and can give them the benefit of the doubt that they are who they say they are. And I suppose I don't often that is one thing I'm not often afforded that luxury or perspective, on the other hand, which can be quite frustrating. No, not anymore, because now I'm not saying I'm expecting it, but I'm not surprised by it. It doesn't catch me off guard anymore. When I was looking for employment, numerous job interviews, like the person's specification was describing me to a T. Like if I gave you the list of, what they were looking for, you would say, yeah, he could do that. He's self-motivated, he's a self-starter. He can do this, he can do that. He can manage big picture projects. Yes, he's managed budgets, but so on and so. You just go along the line and tick, 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 tick. I'll apply confidently, write a nice cover letter, represent myself in the best light. They're intrigued enough to want to meet me. They usually do. I get there, and then the conversation is not one where it's like we're both getting to know each other. It's like a Spanish Inquisition trying to drill me into breaking cover, if you like as if I'm lying, or like there's got to be something more to it. You can't just be everything we're looking for. And it's like, well, if you're not going to give me the benefit of the doubt, why am I here? another reason I wanted to write the book was to be able to afford people. Sometimes, especially when you're younger, you look for validation. You can't help it. Somebody or something needs to tell you you're doing really well, or you're really valuable and you really have something worth sharing. But when that person is you, I don't think there's anything more powerful than that. You've someone that believes in themselves and someone that knows that they can achieve what they're setting out to achieve. Oh my gosh, that's powerful beyond belief. People may be able to, like I said, they can pull the wool over your eyes here and there, but it will never shake the fact that you know that if you go into your bag of tricks, you can pull out a rabbit out of the hat anytime you want. And that goes for fitness. You want to get in shape, you have the power and the ability to do that. You can get dedicated very fast, very quickly. You can change your ways very quickly. If it's money, you can put yourself in a space to turn your finances around. I'm currently saying these things to myself. I want to be ready for summer and I want to get out of the poorhouse. So yeah, I guess that's another reason for writing the thought book. It was to have something to refer to, so I could look back and say, you know what, this was the kind of mindset I had and the goals I set for myself. So, and that's how I set high goals and maintain very big ambitions, I guess. Just knowing somewhere deep down within me is the ability to get it done. And if it doesn't yet exist, knowing that I will find a way. And usually the finding a way it's frustrating for a little while, because it's like, if only I had, and then I get out of that very quickly. I don't throw many pity parties. And then I take to it like a duck to water. Once I start forging my way or the momentum starts going with me, I literally, I capitalize that. I ride that wave until there's nothing left. And that's really it. If you're looking for some magic pill, I don't have that for you. If you want to put the pieces of the puzzle together for yourself, I can hand on heart recommend the Thought Book 1 and the Thought Book 2. And I write these inscriptions. I never pre-plan them. I sort of go into a writer's trance, and because I can never remember what I've written in any of these inscriptions. But yeah, people have sent me pictures of them because they're like, oh, I really like the inscription you wrote for me. And I'm like, yeah, can you send me a picture of it, please? And it's not so I can show it to anyone per se. It's just because I really sort of blank out and I don't read them over. As soon as I've written it, I close the book and it's off to whoever it needs to go to. And a lot of the times they were like, how could you have known? You chose like the exact page I needed. And I was like, that's what the book does for me. Any given day I can pick it up, turn to a random page, and wow, something that has resonance to my day, week, month, year, future ambitions. It's there for you. The Thought Book 1 is more inferent than the Thought Book 2, because I was asked on the Thought Book 2 to give more of my personal situations and experiences and how I came to the choices I made for the book. And that wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was easy to fill those pages. So the page count is slightly less than the Thought Book 1, but it has twice the content in there. I doubled the amount of quotes, doubled the amount of information, just used a smaller font. And yeah, I'm really proud of the Thought Book 1 and the Thought Book 2. And like I said, I hope they can do a lot of good for a lot of people, maybe even long after I'm gone. I guess I'm too young or not well known enough to be classified as a philosopher. I guess a lot of my practices in some ways mirror Stoicism. I don't get too high and I don't get too low. And at the same time, I sometimes feel I'm criminally underrated, which I guess is, and I guess that's a sad thing. Like everyone would rather be, I was saying this to someone, that everyone would rather be overvalued than undervalued. Because that's what a lot of people don't get. Like they think, oh, but you should just be happy. You're creating films, you're doing, you're blogging, you've written books, you've made a film, you do music, you should just be happy. Happy is not the word, isn't? You should be content if you do nothing more and it doesn't take and it's not a success. And it's like, no, that's not right. If you know that you do a job and it's worth, I don't know, 20, let's make an arbitrary number. Let's say it's worth 100,000 a year. Would you want to be paid 25,000? The answer is no, goddammit. And because the answer is no, you would rather be paid 200,000 for 100,000, 100,000 job. And even then, that's not being dishonest. That's just who doesn't want to be valued more than, like, equal is fine. So if you're worth 100 and you get 100, great. But if you're worth 100 and you get 200, I'm not saying that's like the answer to happiness is to overpay everyone, but I'm sure it will feel pretty damn good for someone to rate you that much. All I can say, people, is keep on trying to achieve. Keep on with those big ambitions, those big dreams. Keep those alive. I'm almost certain that that's what keeps us alive. The minute you no longer have a dream, you're just floating in and living life is a nightmare.